That every time you look at a black man or look at a black woman, you are looking at God. And that's a whole nother level of black power. What y'all think? So, in closing, brothers and sisters, we should want to know, number one, how do we lose black power? And then number two, how do we get it back? In Islam, when you join the Nation of Islam, you receive something called Supreme Wisdom Lessons for members only. Well, membership has its privileges and its responsibilities too. You take on the responsibilities, you get the privilege. Black power. In this Supreme Wisdom book, mothers, Master Farad Muhammad suggests to the mothers to stop reading devil's bedtime stories. Have you ever wondered why we've been taught to read bedtime stories to our children? Have you ever wondered why whenever they want to sell something, they put it on late at night? It's because the conscious mind is at its weakest point, and the subconscious mind is more susceptible to be changed and impressed upon whenever you reach the time of almost going to bed. One of the worst things that we could ever do to the human brain is to allow law and order to put us to sleep every night. Or lo and behold, to allow Pandora, 2 Chainz channel, to put us to, y'all understand what I'm trying to say? Because if the mind is at its most impressionable stage right before we go to bed at night, we should be very careful and cautious of what we allow in our atmosphere before we close our eyes to go to sleep. So Allah, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, is telling the sisters, he says, spelling must be used by all Muslim girls and mothers to their children for bedtime study. Also in regular courses. Muslim girls must get away from reading the devil's bedtime story to their children, but should read English lesson number C1. See, row your boat gently down the stream. Makes a punk out of your babies. Matter of fact, it don't just make a punk, it make a devil. Because we don't live in a righteous world. So to row a boat gently down the stream means to go with the flow of society. Well, last I checked, society's headed toward hell at a fast pace. So the real song should be, son, daughter, row your boat aggressively up the stream and get the hell out the water as soon as you can, because you are swimming in a sea of sin. Look at the songs. We in there playing with our baby's feet. This little piggy went to the market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy said, come on, y'all remember this. Why would you want to put pig in a favorable light inside the head of your baby? Huh? Why is it the 3 little pigs and the wolf coming? See, why would we want the baby to see the pig, which is public enemy number 1? It is the worst form of food to put into the human body. It is the only food on the face of the planet Earth that has within inside of every forkful at least 150,000 microscopic parasites called trichina worms, which are miniature maggots that come into the body, eat the brain cells, clog the arteries, erode the spine, and eat away at the tissues of the eye. It sounds mental power. Every time we eat hog, we're getting dumber and dumber. That's the reason the slave master made sure we ate pig. You seen what they did to Kunta Kinte. Damn it, you gonna eat this pig. Why? Because if I give you enough of it, your brain will be weak, but your body will be all right. And you'll be a good slave with a weak mind, a strong bicep. Get the babies out of the pig stories. Mary had a little lamb, and her fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, the sheep. But then your baby hears that at the age of 1, then at the age of 5 goes to Sunday school, and now they're learning about a Mary who's the mother of Jesus, who happens to be called the Lamb of God. So what they do is they began to associate the Mary had a little lamb bedtime story with the Mary of the Bible, and Jesus is the lamb. Well, if the Marys are the same and the lamb is Jesus and the sheep had fleece white as snow, then Jesus is a white man. Look at the poison being installed in the brain of our children. So he said, no, don't read that crap. Read every night to your baby English lesson number C1. By the way, English lesson number C1 is Farrakhan. I know y'all understand. Hold on. Just don't have to clap yet. See, when you say C1, see as a verb means to look at. So to see one means you got to find the one that you're supposed to be observing. Maybe you never heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, wherever you see him. I'm just saying, have you heard that before? Yes, sir. Also, when you look at the letter C, it is the third of the 3 first letters. Allah, Master Farad Muhammad is A. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is B. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is C. So the one that needs to be observed and looked at is the third one. And if you know him, you know the other 2 too. C1. Look at the story. Check this out. We got, can we get 5 minutes? Yes, sir. Can we get 7 minutes? Yes, sir. Can we? No, just 7. 7. Y'all all right? Black power. Well, we need to find out how we lost it and how we going to get it back. Well, here in English lesson C1 is the formula on how we lost our black power. And really it's the formula on how we get it back. What's the first thing in here? It says, my name is W.F. Muhammad. Hold on a second. If we are giving this to the baby, we're saying it ourselves, and we also want them to memorize and recite it too. Well, who is W.F. Muhammad? W.F. Muhammad is Master Farad Muhammad. He is the first product of the perfection of man. He's God. So whenever your baby say, not his name is, my name is, then they are taken personally. I am a God. Is there anything that a God cannot accomplish? See, limitations are all artificial. Did you hear me? If Allah, God, destroyed impossibility when he created himself and the universe from nothing, then impossible is nothing. That means that there is no such thing as a limitation. So the power of a limitation is not that it is a limitation, it's that we believe it is one. So as soon as you can eliminate the belief in limitation, limitations go away. And if your baby believes that my name is W.F. Muhammad, then they believe they have no limitations. Black power. My uncle. Now that's how you get it back. It starts off by programming the babies to know that you are a God. And there's nothing that you put your mind to that you cannot accomplish. Then look at this. I came to North America by myself. See, every son and daughter has to know that you have to develop, we have to develop independent individual faith. You're not going to be great because your mama was great. You're not going to be great because your father was great. You're not going to be a Muslim because your mama or your daddy was a Muslim. There's a difference between the child of a Muslim and a Muslim child. A child of a Muslim is one that has parents that are believers. But a Muslim child is someone that has parents that are believers, but also has studied, has prayed, has fasted, and has developed their own individual, independent faith in the God. So when this says, I came to North America by myself, what we are telling our sons and daughters, don't be what you're supposed to be because of me. Be what you're supposed to be because of yourself. Come to Islam. Come to engineering. Come to medicine. Come to architecture. Come to the ministry, not because I want you to do it, but come to North America by yourself. You choose to live this life, and you choose to be what you're supposed to be. My uncle was brought over here by the trader 379 years ago. My uncle cannot talk his own language. Uh-oh. Here's the power leaving. Black power is getting dwindled. First thing that happened, the trader came and got us and brought us over here. Black power started getting reduced immediately. Because in order for us to get over here, we had to be put in the holds of slave ships, which means we lost freedom, justice, and equality. Then after we got here, now my uncle cannot talk his own language. That means we lost our original tongue. That means we don't know how to talk about what we used to talk about, nor how to even say it like we used to say it. We are left with this bastard language called English, which is an inferior dialect on the planet, and left with no knowledge to teach. Then this is the worst part. He does not even know that he is my uncle. Well, if Master Farad Muhammad is talking, right, and he had a black father, right, then Master Farad Muhammad's father, who was black, would have an uncle that was a black man. So the uncle represents the first generation of slaves brought to America. Now, the uncle is the black man that does not even know that he's my uncle. That means that the black man don't even know he's a black man no more. He's lost black power. And because he has no black power, he doesn't know anything about himself. He likes the devil because the devil gives him nothing. Do you know the only way that you can like somebody that gives you anything is if what they're giving you is a little bit above what you are? Did you hear me? So when someone gives you nothing, the only way that you would like somebody for giving you nothing is if you already less than nothing. Black power has been... Well, why does he like the devil? Because that's a good question. Well, because the devil put fear in him when he was a little boy. How did you put fear in him when he was a little boy? Number one, I made him eat meat. And I'm the one that killed all the meat that he eats. I fed him swine, but I killed the pig. White man talking. I fed him the cow, but I killed the cow. I'm feeding him the chicken, but I'm the killer of the chicken. I feed him the turkey, but I killed the turkey. And since every animal that is slaughtered sees their death coming, and the thought of their death produces fear, and all thoughts produce a chemical reaction, and all chemical reactions of thought integrate with the blood, and whenever you cook the meat of the flesh of the chicken, the turkey, the cow, and the swine, the blood is soaked into the muscle of the flesh. So when I eat the flesh, I eat the blood, and when I eat the blood, I eat the chemical reaction. And when I eat the chemical reaction, I eat the last thought that the animal thought. And if a white man killed the animal, I'm eating fear of the white man. Are y'all with me? You say, well, why are you talking so fast? Because we only got 6 more minutes left. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. That now for y'all that's listening, don't think the brother's crazy. He's just saying God is the greatest. Thank you, Brother Kunta Kinte. Brother James. We appreciate you. Thank you, my brother. Does that have anything to do with the above question number 10? Yes, sir. That makes him other than his own self. So he went from a man with black power to being a man with no power and don't even know he's black. Well, what is his own self? Uh-oh. See, now we got to get back. Because see, after you just can't tell your baby you God, 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 you WF mom, you WF mom, you WF mom. That's not going to do it. He has to also be plugged into a system of information. He has to become loyal to an institution. And he has to practice rituals and learn the meaning of the rituals that he will be able to become what he's talking about. So he says, what is his own self? His own self is a righteous Muslim. Are there any Muslims other than righteous? I beg your pardon, I've never heard of one. Well, how many original Muslims are there in North America? A little over 17 million. Well, how many Muslim sons are there in North America? That's approximately 3 million of them. Well, did I hear you say that some of the 17 million do not know that they're Muslims? Because at the time of the writing, the whole population of black people in America was 17,028,000. A little over 17 million. But Master Farad Muhammad, no matter what our condition was in, he never considered us by condition. He considered us by nature. Didn't it say he looked beyond my faults and saw my needs? That's why we love Jesus. Well, Master Farad Muhammad looked beyond our condition, beyond our circumstance, and he looked into the nature of us, and he called us by the original nature we had, which was a submitter to the will of God. Did I hear you say that some no, they don't know that they're Muslims? Well, I can hardly believe that unless they're what? They blind, they deaf, and they're dumb. Well, they were made blind, deaf, and dumb by the devil when they were babies. Because they was taught, row, row, row your boat. Gently down the stream. They was taught about this little piggy going to the market. And the wolf did this. And Mary had this little lamb. That was Jesus, white as snow. So that's what happened. They was made blind, deaf, and dumb by the devil when they was a baby. Well, here's the next question. Well, can the devil fool a Muslim? And the answer is not nowadays. Well, do you mean to say that the devil fooled them 379 years ago? Yes. The trader made an interpretation that they received gold for their labor more than they were earning in their own country. And since yesterday, the Muslims of yesterday, all they had was the Holy Quran and the Hadith, they did not have message to the black man. They didn't have our Savior has arrived, fall of America, or how to eat to live. They didn't know the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They didn't possess the study guides or the theology of time. We got it though now. We got it. So we the nowadays Muslim that'll never be tricked again. Didn't they receive gold? No. The trader disappeared. And there was no one that could speak their language. Well, then what happened? Well, they wanted to go to their own country, but they could not swim 9,000 miles. You know black people can't swim. What? You act like I'm not telling the truth. Well, now we can doggy paddle real good, but you can't get in the ocean doggy paddling. Nobody can swim 9,000 miles. Then look at this. Well, why didn't our own people come and get them? You remember Kunta Kinte on the ship? He was he knew they was in a bad situation, but he thought everything was going to be okay. He looked over at his partner. He said, the warriors are going to come get us, right? And the brother told him, yes, they would, but we're in the water. We have no trail. Kunta Kinte said, damn. No, he didn't. I mean, he didn't say that. That's what he looked. Did y'all see his face? No, go back. It's on right now on HD on TV1. Go back at the first part. You'll see him. He said, damn. Hit. Why didn't our own people come and get us? Guess what? They didn't even know that we were here. You didn't hear me. See, don't believe this white man lied that the black people were selling black people. There's always been a few Uncle Toms, Aunt Janes, and Remuses. But it was such a few amount of them that it was so secretive, the slave trade, that most of the people didn't even know we was even here. But then, guess what? They found out that we were here. So the question is now raised, when did their own people find out they were here? Approximately 60 years ago. So if this is 1930, 60 years before that would have mean that they knew we were here in 18 what? 70. Well, why in the hell didn't y'all come over here and get us? You, Mr. Kente Cloth. You, Mr. African Medallion. You, Mr. and Mrs. saying that we should wear dreads and that we should speak more of the African. We're not black, we're African. Well, why in the hell didn't y'all come save us? Did nobody come and get us? It wasn't until a man that was the Good Samaritan named Master Farad Muhammad traveled 9,000 miles all by himself to come and give us black power once and for all. Thank you for listening. I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Black power.